26%. A New Nation report found that the percentage you below 12th grader for the subtraction in math. In America, we had everything as an exceptional country. But the 26% sound exceptional to you. Raise your hand if you think as a country we need to do way better than that. I'm with you. We all need math for why so many kids confused by it. It is because only 26% of the people are hardwired from that. Love 70% are not. After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this is the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching it in the humanist subject. But if we make math human again, it would start make sense again. You're probably wondering how is math in every human in the first place. So think about it. Math is a human language just like English, Spanish, and Chinese because it allows people to communicate with each other.
Even in ancient time, people need the language of math to conduct trade, to build a monument, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math, the language, is actually new. A great philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agreed, isn't it? But somewhere along the line, we are taking the language of math with about the real world around us, and we abstract that beyond this recognition, and that's why kids they get confused. Let me show you what is mean. We will see this third grade Californian math standard, and people make sense when 8 years old. Understand the fraction 1 over b as the quantity formed by one part when a wall is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand a fraction a over b as the quantity formed by a part of size 1 over b. And if you give this description to an 8-year, you probably get reaction like this. To a math expert, this standard makes sense, but to a kid, it's an absolute torture.
I tell the example specifically because the fractions are the foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So kids don't understand fraction in the elementary middle school because it had how brought away to ahead them in the high school. But there are ways to make subtraction simple and easy for kids to understand. Yes, just remember that math is language and use that to fear damage. For example, when I teach first grader how to add the subtraction, I start with the apple plus lesson. For say yes, one apple plus one apple, and people often say to with the partly correct. Help them include the word as well as with the math of the language, but not just two. It's two apples. Next is three pencil plus three pencil. You are all know that pencil plus pencil this pencil. So everyone, how many pencils? Five pencils. Five pencils is right. And the key is you include the word I try to submit with my 5 years old niece in month. After she added pencil and pencil, I asked her what 4 billion plus 1 billion, and my aunt overheard in the distance. She called and says, "Are you crazy? She's been kindergarten. How she supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? I'm done it." My niece Vanessa counting looks up and says 5 billion, and I says, "That's right, it is 5 billion." My aunt stood ahead on that because she didn't explain that from the 5 years. But all you have to do is take a language approach, and math become into it is and easy to understand. Then I asked her a question that kindergartner definitely not supposed to know. Plus one third, and she immediately answered 3/3, such as you are wondering how can she possibly know that when she doesn't know about the numerator and the denominator yet. You see, she wasn't thinking about numerator and denominator. She solved the problem this way, and she used one apple plus one apple as her analogy to understand one third plus one third. So even a kindergartner can and subtraction. You'd better believe that every third garden can do it as well. Just for fun, I asked her an algebra question. What 7x squared plus 2x squared? And then the 5 years correctly answered 9x squared. And she didn't add any exponent rules to figure that it out. So when the people say that we are either wired or not, it's not true. Math is a human language, so we'll have the ability to understand this.
We need to take a language approach to math urgently because too many kids are loud and they are insane about math. And it doesn't have to be that way. I work with an angry, frustrated high school student, one who couldn't pass the algebra because she only knew 44% of the multiplication task. If told her that's such a kind of weird only knowing the 41st% of the alphabet, holding me back. She couldn't pass her or public relation, and she had no confidence in that. As the result, this teenager had confidence in herself. If told her, we have to start with the multiplication, because once you know all of you have with your part, everything gets easier and they will be having a pulse pack if every
I know she at the corner when she figured out that 2 years currently at $445 and one would cost you $10,680. And she looking at me disapprovingly and said, "It's a folly so that expensive." At that moment, not having wonder closing problem for her, but still looking, giving a math solved problem has the result to help. See an indicator in my duty to challenge kids to be thoroughly you with this challenge. Our country struck at 26% separation, and I challenge you was the number high. This is important because mathematical thinking not boil young men, but our kids need to imagine and default this feature. Meeting this challenge can be as simple as apple plus apple instead. Then when teach math the human language, and we will get there sooner rather than later.